Hello, Divine Masculine. This is a timeless reading of yours. Please bear in mind a few things while we get ready for your reading. I am Master Seventh, aka Seventh, that reads these energies for you. Just know that what it means to be a Divine Masculine includes both feminine and masculine energies. The most important within this reading is to know that this is a timeless reading and to use your discernment to take all of that which belongs to you, leave the rest behind, for this is just not a one-to-one reading, alright? This is collective insight. If you'd like to know who I am, what I'm all about, what I have to offer, I am a master healer that provides remote wellness and or tarot intuitive insights. For more information, that can be found in the description box below. You'll also see various other links within the channel description box to see if you'd like to gain access to any other parts of this channel or to make your way over to my sister channel. All my content is timeless for your viewing pleasure. All right, Divine Masculine, let's get into your reading. All right. I see some of y'all like being completely over it when it comes to like work. You're being undermined, underrated, not getting the appreciation you're looking for. Maybe you're also looking for some sort of motivation to maybe take your life to a whole completely different level. Six of Cups, the Chariot, and the Knight of Cups. Yeah, you're wanting to reconnect with something that allows you to be more passionate in showing up. I think some of you are having a time issue, meaning you're not really liking how much time you're spending within the 24 time period and seeing how much of it you spend at work and the atmosphere surrounded by spending that much time of a 24-hour period doing something that you're not really being seen or heard of, or wonder whether or not you're an asset, that kind of thing. So some of you may be in that and trying to figure out how to make yourself stand out. And some of you may want to opt out completely and be in a dialogue that really allows you to make manifesto, as a magician wants to show. Yeah, I'm keeping this? Yeah, okay. The Magician and the Ace of Wands is really trying to push you to accept that your emotions can help you in manifesting. I think some of you Divine Masculines, well, not some, a lot of you have been bruised with the femininity within you, all right? That really comes out in, as of late, the readings. Just in general, it's been also the way patriarchy has overruled and patriarchy has lacked its counterpart of matriarchy. So it's been on overdrive without having any time to rest, okay? And it's pretty much contingent on thinking ain't no rest for the wicked, okay? And some of you have been misguided, misled with lack of discipline in your life and where your life is now. And now you're realizing that because of the lack, perhaps, of a discipline, you're learning that you can teach yourself discipline, and that can show up in ways that you show up to time. What does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the rest of a clock on the clock of time mean to you when you spend within that time? And some of you have made decisions of life that haven't really been able to zero in on those decisions or those thinkings, and maybe as of late it has. Maybe a child has come into your life. Maybe you recently got married, or maybe recently got engaged, or maybe recently got out of a terrible relationship and found versions within yourself and realized, holy shit, like, whatever that was, whatever this moment is, it's putting you as the Ace of Wands and someone who can really reap the rewards once you understand vulnerability will take you there. Okay, really wearing your heart on your sleeve will take you onto this journey of where I think you want to go and profit. Okay, I do see a very interesting symbiosis of like blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow kind of thing to help you understand that there are conspiracies out there that are not theories, they are fact. They are just as factual as a truth is, because even a truth can be a lie. So you're facing yourself with contradictions. You are facing yourself and living and breathing these contradictions and showing up as the vessel to take on what it means divine masculinity, balancing your own masculine and feminine energy and showing up as that divine masculine power. This is the feminine attribute, this is the masculine attribute, and here you are as that unity of both. As that unity of both, you're proof of that you bring fruition. I think for some of you who have been concerned of fertility might get news of that, whether that means it's a path of being able to heal it and or a miraculous situation from that procuring. I think there is something really euphoric coming out of that, something very blissful. Okay, I see that something being a beautiful gift, a cherishing moment. All right, what seems a bit controversial for me always is 2 cards in tarot. It's the moon energy, because it's saying she has secrets, and the 7 of Swords energy. The moon is here and the 7 of Swords is not, okay? But I do feel that I see more or less that, here's the 5 of Swords is just as bad. No, I'm just kidding. The Knight of Swords is challenging the moon, okay? Which means it's gonna challenge, I think, some heavy contenders in your life, and seeing whether or not you want to participate in communication and connection, if you just want to fuck around with them in general. I think either it's gonna push the narrative of what you want to expect in life, ensure that they show up to see if they're in living proof and color of if that's what it is that you really want. Like, you can have the wildest fantasy come more or less true in this situation, and you're like, wait, huh? And I think some of you are going to have a lot of wait, huh moments. And I think that's where it's going to be opportunistic for you to see how sovereign your life is. Of all the shit that's working against you, from like how private that world can come into saying that you have no rights at all, you're just going to automatically know that there's nothing against you. Everything can be right against you, and know that, yeah, even this is not against me. And I think that's gonna be kick-ass. Yeah, the Hermit energy, making this a very private, as it should be. This lesson should be very private. This frame of mind and perspective should be a private moment for yourself. Even if any crossworder were to read this reading, come across this reading, they're not gonna know what it is that you're conjuring up. They're not gonna know what's best for you. They're not going to know the decisions that you're making until you've made a decision, and they'll feel that shit. And that might also mean you never see this person again, because that's your decision and that's the closure. 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, and 9 of Pentacles. So you're stepping into the feminine aspects of acknowledging vulnerability. Being vulnerable, it doesn't demasculate the masculine. And it makes the masculine be more alpha, while they're trying to figure out that they never want to be in beta. And they're coming up with their own omega to make that alpha and beta distinction for themselves. And that is with a very refined eye towards paying attention to what causes heartache, who causes heartache, and who also to maybe sometimes refrain from if they're the ones responsible for creating that heartache, the closer you look at the situation. So maybe there are individuals in your life. Maybe there's a person right now that is confusing. And the moment that they're confusing, I think you're going to put up a very delicate aerial viewpoint of this interaction based on the lesson and their time spent in you making sense of their interaction of showing up in that o'clock hour. All right. I think some of you want to bring your nightlife into the daylight, and some of you want to take your daytime rendezvous into the nighttime and figuring out how to have that all, and more or less also having it in one person and coming with more from one person rather than needing to hustle, needing to be so busy and not appreciate the person you'd actually rather choose and be with. You know, I do see this being a very confusing time. It only confusing in me not being specific and picking out every single person whose story this is. I think this is very simple for the person claiming this reading. You know, I think you're going to make sense of who you want in your life and who you say yes to and who you say no to. And those are final decisions. Are they final interactions? No, because I think that some of these decisions may require that some people do remain in your life because maybe you work with them, right? Maybe you can't say, maybe you're not entertaining some relationship that you're seeing at work, and maybe you're still going to be interactive with them because they're working, they're there in the environment they're working, right? But I don't think you're going to mix the two. I think you're going to be really the word was about to be careful, but it isn't cautiousness. This isn't caution. This is wisdom. This is a knowing. This is I decided on this and I want this to show me what this is about. This is about detailed decision making. This is about knowing and not knowing and trusting what you know while trusting that you're going to accept the things that you don't know. This is a very careful, unconditional approach to working through conditions that you may have met through to how you were raised and what you were experiencing and what conditions are in your environment that were some of your control and some were not in your control. I think those are your conditions that you're figuring out for yourselves where you want to, which energies you want to entertain. You know, and what worlds may need shifting in order for you to be even happier and to maybe include other people within this happiness. This is a very careful guidance, taking itself very seriously. It's very mature, although I do see some of those decisions have been very immature. I mean, some of you have some very interesting individuals around you. I do see there's like eyes around you, divine masculine, like this is also prying eyes, you know. There's a divine feminine around you who is asking tarot, you know, asking mediums about the connection, and you know about this, your higher self more or less knows about. This might be new news to you, yet I think the more you think about it, it wouldn't surprise you if you found out that would be a truth, you know. I think some of your decision process is also going to be contingent on that. If you're comfortable with somebody having done that without having a conversation with you first. I think that speaks of maturity as well. I think some of you are tired of the narrative of being a narcissist, or even being someone that is taking their life seriously. Like, you're learning to put like the blinders on and really not giving a fuck about what people have to say. At the same time, realizing that that's not the truth of the situation. You very much care about people. Some of the people don't even see how much you actually care for people. They don't. Most of them don't see that at all. They're so busy, afraid of asking certain questions with you, so they ask other people those questions that could have actually been very direct with you about. You just won't accept that anymore. Really, I don't see. Again, I see a lot of you entertain people, and you entertain them just enough that they feel that they're part of your life. But at the same time, I see wisdom, knowing exactly how much value they themselves bring to your life. And I think that's you playing the song, music to your own ears and your own life, and being your own metronome producer. Okay, you keeping your own beat, your own, you're keeping your own. You're creating, doing, showing up. And as you take in more balance of femininity and masculinity, I think you're exploiting your vulnerability for the maturity it has reached for itself. And then wanting to entertain who's available and who's around to see that version of yourself unfolding. I think that's big time. Big time mojo. I see a lot of you really also expressing that vulnerability through artwork. Through artwork, there's a lot of you. Like, a lot of you are doing your femininity recall in artwork. Okay, and it's beautiful artwork at that. Like, it's stunning. It's you. It's the real version of you. It's a person that hasn't had a chance to express themselves and be a finished project of expression. This is nice. This is putting up a wonderful show. For some of you, it's literal, and for all of you, it's real. This is a very beautiful energy. This is more or less also, this gives me a lot of devotion energy. Like, you're really wanting to devote your time to something. Time is very important to an individual here. Making sure that everything is form-fitting and fluid, makes sense to the overall ambiguity that something can portray, while also having at the same time a lot of meaning. This is taking yourself seriously, but knowing how to look the other way and not take everything so seriously, take everything with a grain of salt, but everything with a monumental approach. Monumental, the magician energy here. Excuse me, with the Two of Cups. Yeah, that's beautiful. I think you're in that fantastic secular of a bubble to really ride this wave here, right? And coming into a Marco Polo version of yourself. Really seeing if you can see the other aspect of you every time you echo, and if you hear yourself for being that one that has put the siren out there, and if you can hear yourself coming back into an acknowledgement that you're that loud, that you're impactful, that you make a presence, that you are ready for vulnerability and the understanding of unconditional love, while perhaps also going through some figuring out what your conditions are. You know, there are certain conditions of how you were maybe told to look at the world, or you know, how you were educated and how you were raised, the community you lived, where what assets you have working for and against you. And they all played a role to what your cells remember of themselves and what your cells want to make manifest for themselves as well. And it requires a daunting task of self-acceptance while also being a vulnerable person, to showing up to the softer aspects of life without feeling emasculated. Which is very alpha, beta, omega here. Omega being the magician, alpha and beta being you, the two of cups, figuring it out for themselves, how to be in sacred ceremony with yourself. And then that produces the extension of a connection with the person in mind, the person closest to you, or the person to come. This is very past, present, future fitting. All right, some lasting messages here. All right, we have adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. Again, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. Adversity. We have relationships. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. We have worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. And then we have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. All right, Divine Masculine, I'm going to leave the messages where they are. I'm wishing a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. And may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.